The market finds a bottom and bounces in wave B. Or is it a rally in wave 1? Are we headed higher or lower? Find out next on Invest with Jacob. The market found a trampoline today and jumped out of the gym, climbing as high as 75 points higher before trading a little bit lower at the close. Now this begs the question, with that kind of aggressive movement, was this a rally or a bounce? We'll get into that in just 1 second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob. And I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. Okay, guys, so this move up was very aggressive today, but it did still trade in a corrective movement. It was 3 waves up, and then it kind of stalled at the close. So that leaves us in a pretty precarious position. Are we rallying, or is this a bounce? And the answer to that is to be determined. Now, before we jump into the chart and take a look at why, I had some questions today about what the current count is given that wave 3 missed its target. Now, if you grew up in my childhood, you know that the count is always 1, 2, 3, But anyway, the actual wave count hasn't changed all that much. We just had to move our wave 3 back down a little bit. So let's jump into the chart and take a look at the count from the March 2020 lows up till now so we can see exactly where we are at. Okay, guys, so here we are on the daily SPX chart, and we're going to do the count up from the March 2020 lows down here up to where we are now. Now, if you haven't seen a wave count before, I highly suggest you go watch my video called The Big Picture, where I show you how wave counts work, and I also give you an overview of the wave count from the beginning of the stock market till now, so you can have a little better understanding of what we're doing here. Okay, so guys, you have to first understand the degrees of wave that we're looking at. On this chart, the largest degree of wave is the red circles. So we got red circle 3 completed in late February before the March crash. Large circle 4 in red here completed in March. That was the crash off the highs. And then the next degree down are the black Roman numerals that are bracketed here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 up, which will complete red 5. Okay? So what we have to do is to get one black wave, we have to count 5 waves up. All right, so we got this blue, which is the next degree down. All right, so we got wave 1 of blue up, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So 5 waves up gives us 1 bracketed Roman numeral black wave. So that's wave 1. Okay, so when I say we're in like a wave 3 of 1, that could mean this blue 3 of this black 1. Okay, that's what we would be talking about. So we got our 5 blue up. Then in corrective waves, remember it's an ABC correction. So we got A down, B up, C down to make 2. All right, and then we got to count 5 again to get the next bracketed Roman numeral 3. So we had 1 up here, 2 down, and we just completed 3 of 3 on that last high before this last sell-off a few days ago. Okay. So we are completing 3 and 4 right now. We're selling off in 4. And then we're going to go up to complete 5 and also to complete this larger wave 3. After that, we'll have a pretty big pullback all the way down to about 4,100, which will be about 900 point pullback. And then we'll go up to complete wave 5, which will complete red circle 5. Okay? So what changed? Not much. The 3 just moved down a little bit. So the 3 was at 44.40. But we didn't hit that target before we had a sell-off. So we come down and we move it to 43.89, I believe it is. That was our high. So because of that, we just may see a slightly different style of correction in 4, and I'll explain that when we get to the next part of the video. So as it stands right now, we have completed wave 3 of 3, and we are selling off in wave 4 of 3. And once we find a bottom here, we'll start our next trek up towards 5,000. To complete wave 3. Now you may be asking, Jake, how did you get 5,000? Great question. So to get 5,000, we measure with our trend-based fib extension tool. And first we measure the smaller degree 1 and 2. Okay, so we come here and we measure up to 1 and we click and we pull back in 2 at the bottom. We pull that line to where it matches up with 2 and then we drag it across so we can see our lines. Okay, and we can see that the 1.618 extension is about 49.41. All right, and that's generally what we target for a 5-wave move in 3. Now, We also measure larger degree wave 1 and 2. Okay, so we come down here to 4, and we measure up to this wave 1, and we measure down to wave 2 here, and drag it across. Okay, and we expect a target for wave 3, okay, to be about 1236 to 1272, and that's 49.53. So we have confluence here from the two 1-2s, okay, so our larger 1-2 and our smaller 1-2 both measure out to the target of about 5,000 for this wave. So we're expecting wave 5 to hit about 5,000 on the SPX before pulling back in wave 4. That's how we got that target. Okay, so that's the count that we're currently on. Now let's jump into what we're looking at today and as we come up on the next couple days. All right, guys, so here we are on today's action. This is the futures chart. I like to break down the futures chart because you get the overnight trading action and it gives you a more complete view of how the waves look. So it's kind of important. One thing I want to note is there's a lot of misconceptions about how corrections work. So corrections happen in an ABC form, but like any other Elliott wave, they are fractals, which means they break down. To get A from the top of 3 up here, you don't just say, oh, well, let's see, A, B, C. Oh, this must be A right here. And then this must be B. And then this must be C. That's the correction, right? Typically, that is not how it works. Typically, each wave needs 3 waves. So what you see here is the smaller A, the smaller B, and the smaller C that give us A. So the way we talk about this, if I'm talking to you and I'm trying to explain this to you, I say, hey, this is the A wave of A. This is the B wave of A, and this is the C wave of A, and the C wave gives us A. So C and A are synonymous. C of A and A of A are synonymous. Okay? Same thing goes with the B wave. Okay? A lot of talk today is the B wave over. I don't believe it is, and here's why. We have A up, B down, and C up to give us A of B. Okay, now I expect a 3-way move down in B of B, and then a 5-wave move up in C to give us the top of B. So now you might be saying, hey, then the B wave isn't over. That is my current belief. I believe that today was mostly A of B, okay, and then we have a B of B pullback, and then we have a C of B top. Now, here's how we figure out how that's going to happen, or if that's going to happen, because where we stop today happens to be a tough place to stop. So if we use our retracement tool, guys, and we come into the top of wave 3 here, and we measure it to the bottom here where we bottomed 2 days ago, okay, you can see that we came up to the 61.8% fib and bounced all up and down on it and couldn't push through. Now, here is the complex part of what we're dealing with. 61.8% retrace is a common target for a full wave B. Now, if you've watched the last 2 videos, you know that I think that this B should be higher, and there are a couple reasons why. Number one, because we missed our target of 3 up here, typically when that happens in Elliott Wave, it is not uncommon for the B wave to go hit the target as an expanded B, so that would be 44.40, okay, and before it comes crashing down in C. So I do believe there's a potential for a higher B wave, and I think today was a great setup for that. The other reason I think we could go higher in B is because the MACD was so oversold down here that it would support a really nice rally, which we got today. So I think tomorrow could be either a sideways grind day or a pullback in B before we go higher. That is my primary expectation. Now, because of where we stopped, we have to take into account what could happen. So how do we know if this is a B wave down or if this is going to be C down? And the answer is the number of waves in the movement. Now, as I've talked about before, corrective waves move in 3-wave movements, A, B, C. So if this is going to pull back in a B wave of B, we would expect to see 3 waves down with support around 42.94 on the futures chart, because that's what we're on right now. This is ES. So we're looking at 42.94, which is around 4,300 on the SPX. So we're looking for a 3-wave pattern, so 1, 2, 3 down to around 4,300 on the SPX, 294 on the futures, and then we would look for a bounce there. If we see a bounce around that range, then we're thinking that that was B down, and we are going higher. If you get a 3-wave movement down to that support zone and it bounces and then moves back down through support, well, then we're in a C wave down and we're targeting 41.65 down here, and this was all of B. My primary expectation is that this is not all of B, that we are still moving up higher after a pullback in B of B. But we do need to understand what the market can do and where our support levels are so that we can prepare ourselves and build trading plans around it. So there is a third possibility, guys. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're going to give out 3 possibilities so that no matter what happens, you're right. This is not about me being right. I don't care. I give my market update every single day. I stand by my work. This is about preparing you so that you can understand the key levels and what to look for if the market either holds support or breaks support, so that you can say, hey, he said if it broke this level, this is what's going to happen. All right, so this is just about preparing you for all of the options you could see, especially if you're trading this market, because B waves can be very volatile. So the third option, and it's because of where the market stopped. There wouldn't be 3 options if the market had made a decision today, but it didn't. It stopped right at this 618, which, as I said, is a perfect spot for all of B. It's a perfect setup for A of B, and it's also a setup for a rally, because the 618 here also lines up perfectly for a wave 3 target. So we have 1 here in the circle blue, 2 down in the circle blue, and then wave 3 in the circle blue would hit here. Then you would have a wave 4 pullback right here that you can see, and then wave 5 up. Now here's the thing, you're not really probably going to be able to tell if this rally is the rally or if it's this B right here. They're going to look pretty much the same. So then why am I telling you about it? Because I could just claim it's the B wave. The difference is how this support comes down off of them. Okay, so if this does rally up like this and it hits this target area, okay, when it pulls back, a wave 5 pullback would just pull back a little bit down into this 618 region here, somewhere in this range. Okay, whereas a wave C is going to come crashing down to 4165, and you don't want to get caught in that. You don't want to get caught looking for a pullback bounce when what's going to happen is a waterfall crash. Okay, so the reason I'm telling you about this last option is to watch if we do happen to rally up and hit this target and we start to pull back, you understand where that level is. Now, here's the cool thing, guys. If you like this video, if you like what I talked about today and you want more information like this, you need to get in my Facebook group. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link and get in there, and you can get in my Slack channel. Slack is just a free chat channel. You get on there, I give real-time market updates all through the day. I tell you about all of these key support levels, if they held, if they didn't, what we're expecting. If we bounce here, I'm telling you where we're going. All of that kind of stuff. If you want that kind of information, as well as exactly what and when to trade, you need to get in that Facebook group, guys. But there is one caveat. There's one thing you must do to qualify for my Facebook group. It's very simple. Guys, you got to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Get in my Facebook group. Come join us in the trading room. We have a great group of traders in there. We'd love to have you and make some money together. All right, guys, key takeaways for today. We were watching this key level here of 61.8. Right now, it's kind of bouncing off of it. It's pulled back a little bit. I expect today to be a consolidation or pullback day. And we're watching the level of pullback. So as it comes down, as I said, support for wave B is 42.94 ES and 4,300. It's going to be the same for this wave 4. And if we pull back there and bounce, then we're looking up in B or 5. Same thing. If it pulls back to this level of 42.94, bounces, and then comes back through it, and 42.94 does not hold, then we're looking at the C wave down towards 41.65 on the ES. That is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.